It's Monday, April 20th, 2020. Digital Trends Live is about to start. Here are some of the topics we're covering on today's episode of the show. Coming up, Uber has announced a big expansion beyond just ride-sharing and food delivery to help accommodate growing demands for home delivery amidst the coronavirus outbreak. We have the details. Plus, after releasing the Apple iPhone last week, there are now more rumors surrounding the possible release of new products, including the AirPods Pro Lite and a new 13-inch MacBook Pro. Plus, we'll be joined by Ronan Glon to talk about the automotive world during the COVID-19 outbreak, plus how it could be having an effect on the adoption and advancement of electric vehicles. And from Ronan Glon to Tommy Chong, we'll be joined by the legend himself on the show today to discuss how he is handling quarantine and the launch of the new mobile game, Cheech and Chong Bud Farm. All of that and more on today's episode of Digital Trends Live. And hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. Appreciate everybody tuning in wherever you are. We do always like you joining us here because we broadcast live here every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you trending tech headlines, news, interviews, discussions, and so much more. And thanks for joining us. Of course, we do broadcast live across Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Dailymotion, Apple News, 2 different mobile apps, a smart television app, and digitaltrends.com/live. So you can join in the conversations we get to have. We do have Tommy Chong joining us on the show. And for those of you who have been watching this entire time, yes, it's a little bit of a different set today, so we're changing it up a bit as we continue on broadcasting from home, but we are still at my home, just like all of you working from home. So let's talk about some trending news right now. And speaking of that, with the changing way that we're ordering things, Uber is actually changing up what they're doing. So we all know Uber ride shares, Uber Eats, but now they're adding in 2 different services as well. It is Uber Direct and Uber Connect. And the idea is to expand the ways that they can bring products to the home. So here's what those things will mean. So Uber Direct is going to let users order items from select retailers and then have them delivered directly to their door. So it's kind of an extension of what Uber Eats is. So it's adding on all kinds of other products and things that you can get, including non-food supplies. So examples that they had were a partnership with Cabinet in New York, so that would deliver over-the-counter medication. And then you have Green Cross for same-day pet supplies in Australia. So different ways that we can get some of those essential things that we do need at home, and they want to add in the factors so that way you don't have to go out to the store yourself. So Uber Direct being one of the things they're going to add on. You also have Uber Connect, which lets people post supplies and care packages to relatives and friends. So that's available in 25 cities in the U.S., Mexico, and Australia. It's contactless to ensure safety, but it's where you could actually send a care package to somebody else and get something to them in case they need something. So that's kind of a cool aspect of that. So you'll see that right there as it starts rolling out some of these different services and offerings. And again, it kind of depends on what market you're in, when you're going to see that, but that is something that's going to be rolling out. So something you can check out there with Uber making their changes. Again, giving you trending news here right at the top of the show to get through this and bring you up to date on some important stories. Amazon also making some announcements about their warehouses and the possibility that they could start using thermal cameras to scan warehouse workers to detect whether or not they have a fever. Now, this is something that we've seen utilize this kind of technology in other places. This would be Amazon going to this, and they have had some of their warehouse employees who have tested positive, and they think that this would be a less intrusive way rather than doing thermometers to maintain efficiency and ensure on-time delivery, because they are right now an important part of the supply chain, at least that's how they're viewing it, because they can deliver essential supplies to people. So the cameras have been installed at 6 sites so far in LA and Seattle. And they can check, like I said, more quickly than a forehead temperature thermometer. So this would actually be scanning people to see whether or not they have a temperature. So that's something that Amazon is doing to help mitigate concerns there. And the last coronavirus update here that I have is that there are also some new maps debuting. So we've seen a lot of different institutions and companies coming up with different maps on how to track the spread and what's going on. And now the former founders of Instagram have come out with their own, and it's at a site called rt.live. So this is the founders, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. And what it is they're essentially tracking the reproductive rate. So this is a little bit different than some of the maps that we've seen. So this has to do with social distancing and what the likelihood is if one person stays out and doesn't social distance, what's the likelihood that you'll see infection rates go up. And so the scores range from a below 1 point score is good and above is bad. So right now they've got the US on there. They said Connecticut has the lowest with 0.42, North Dakota, which has no shelter-in-place order, at least as of right this second, has the highest score with 1.7. So it's just kind of demonstrating what some of the factors are with that. And again, taking in data and information and trying to extrapolate some valuable information from it. So that's something that Instagram has. That's rt.live. You can take a look at that there or at digitaltrends.com. All right, continuing on here, bringing you trending news at the top of the show as we do every day. And again, thanks to everybody for joining us. Let's talk about gaming. This is certainly something that a lot more of us are doing right now as we're all working from home and we're not going out. So we're watching gaming and we're gaming more on our own. Well, this is something that Facebook is doing. They have launched their own individual app called Facebook Gaming. And if you're an Android user, you probably have already seen this roll out or seen it advertised. I just downloaded it right before the show started, so I haven't even had a chance to go through it myself yet, but this is brand new. There is going to be an iOS one that'll come out once Apple approves, according to them. But what this would allow you to do is connect to and watch a lot of live streamed games. It's also going to walk you through how you can live stream if you want to. There's also some different ways to connect for mobile gaming. So you can have some Words with Friends battles and different things like that that'll connect via this app, this standalone app that they have. And they're kind of getting into the game clearly behind what Amazon is doing with Twitch, you know, what you have with YouTube, what you have with even Microsoft Gaming that's going to be coming up, YouTube Live, Gaming Live. So there's a lot of competition in that Facebook Gaming, it being lower on the end, but they do say, and this was a pretty amazing statistic, they said that 700 million of its 2.5 billion monthly users engage with gaming content. So clearly they see a lot of potential right there. So that's something you can check out. Again, at digitaltrends.com. Find out more about that. That's kind of what it's going to look like. So if you've downloaded it already, you can see that. But yeah, different ways to engage with gaming and participate in some live streams that are happening right now. So that's Facebook coming out with the Facebook Gaming app. Again, just on Android right now. iOS, it says they're waiting for Apple to approve it. So that's when you'll see it roll out right there. All right, continuing on here with our trending news topics. Let's talk about some rumors. There's always rumors, right? With products right now, we know a lot of companies need to get these products out. We're not going to be getting the original grand events like Apple usually has. Instead, looks like it's going to be more of a slower rollout of some of these things. We had the iPhone SE last week, but now there's more rumors about what we could be getting in the next coming weeks, possibly in May is what this has to refer to, and it's about a couple of things. It's some new AirPods that could be being released, the AirPods Pro Lite. So the AirPods Pro Lite would be, again, just a kind of a different version on this. We don't know what the price would be. This is coming from, it's not verified from Apple, but we do think this could be something they're doing that wouldn't be surprising. So this would, again, be an AirPods Pro Lite, a lighter version to compete in that very heavy market that's out there right now when it comes to AirPods, or when it comes to wireless earbuds. Excuse me. See, I even went to AirPods right there. So with wireless earbuds, this is something that they could be coming out, the AirPods Pro Lite. Another thing that is also possibly that could be launched at the same time is a new 13-inch MacBook Pro. So another possible product that's coming out. And again, not one that's not entirely unexpected. Neither of these are entirely unexpected, but we don't really know when they're going to be launched. Allegedly, these were originally going to be part of that big March event that they were going to have that had to be canceled. So maybe we'll see something roll out. With the iPhone SE, they didn't even have an online event, really. It just kind of showed up, and there it was. So maybe that's how they'll do it with this. Maybe they'll have something a little bit more robust. We don't know, but that's the rumor right now. You can read more about both of those products at digitaltrends.com. And finally, I've got this, and this has to do with something that's a patent that came out for Sony, and I just wanted to bring this up since we're all gaming at home right now. A lot of people alone, with nobody sitting next to them. Well, this is Sony's possible answer. It's a patent that was discovered for an autonomous robot companion that talks to gamers and shares emotions. So this would be something that sits next to you, according to the patent, and this robot would be able to have, quote, an internal state management unit, which would be able to deduce a person's feelings. If they're not doing very good at the game, it's going to know that you're sucking at it, which would be me most of the time. Sorry, Greg, you're doing terrible at this. So it could actually sympathize with players depending on what the player is feeling, such as happiness when finishing a level or sadness when losing to a boss several times. And they described the computer-generated version of the robot companion, which may be seen in virtual reality through a head-mounted device such as the PlayStation VR headset. So it could be virtual, could be something physical next to you, but that's something that Sony has come up with to help get you through those tough gaming sessions. You can read more about that at digitaltrends.com.
Hey, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's now time for the product of the day.
All right, our product of the day. We're all working from home, and since our home is our workspace now, it's important to keep it clean, right? So we've got this, the Dyson V10 Absolute Cordless Vacuum Cleaner. Yes, a Dyson vacuum cleaner at a really good price right now. So Dyson, as we know, is pretty much top of the line when it comes to this stuff. It's cordless, it's bagless, it's got, quote, 14 cyclones. I don't know what that means, but it's better than 13 cyclones. You've got fade-free power. You've got whole machine filtration. It's acoustically engineered, and it quickly transforms into a handheld point-and-shoot style as well, so you can do that. You've got all kinds of different ways that you can use this. It's got a hygienic bin emptying, and it is also washable, so you can just wash the filter on top of that. So this is the Dyson. Again, Dyson V10 Absolute Cordless Vacuum Cleaner. This is kind of the primo one. And the way I'm telling you this right now here, this is a pretty good deal. So if you see that link that's at the bottom, normally this is $699. Yep, they are generally a little bit more expensive. Right now, it is $430 off. So it's $269.99 at that link that you see right here. So it's right below me. Click on that link, type it in, go there. You can get this thing for 61% off. That's a huge savings deal right now for a Dyson vacuum. So again, on sale for $269.99, regularly $700. Pretty good deal. That is our product of the day. All right, we're going to continue on here. We've got some great interviews coming up. I want to thank everybody who's joining us live. Thanks for joining in here. Thanks for talking to us, letting us know, what you want to talk about, whatever platform you're on. We appreciate it. Share the show, because coming up, we're going to have Tommy Chong joining us, talking about his new mobile game. We've also got Ronan Glon who's going to be on here. We've got Drew Prindle with awesome tech you can't buy yet. All of that's happening. But up next, we've got Riley Wynn with a very special segment about dating during the apocalypse. He's going to be talking about that. Or no, actually, I believe he's going to be talking about working out. My bad. You can watch that one somewhere else. He's going to be talking about working out at home. So that's coming up next. Stick around. We'll be back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live.
$97, $98, $99, $100. Good set, Riley. Oh, hey, I didn't see you guys there. If you're like me, this cabin fever is really starting to set in. And while you're stuck at home, you can't just watch Netflix all day. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. With gyms being closed right now, you're going to have to get creative with your workouts at home. You could be like this guy and run a marathon on your balcony. But if you don't have 7 hours to run back and forth, technology can do the heavy lifting for you. Here's all the tech that will help you get that summer bod ready while working from home. Are you a yogi? Well, then the Yoga Notch is a great tool to find your center while working from home. The Yoga Notch is a wearable that pairs with your smartphone and uses motion data to analyze your poses. It's great for beginners. I got to demo it at CES and I'm not flexible at all, so it was really nice to have the app walk me through it so I was getting the most out of my workout, but also keeping good form so I didn't hurt myself. If you don't look at yourself in the mirror while at the gym, then did you even lift? Meet the Mirror. It's a smart mirror that streams on-demand and live workouts. It offers a number of workout classes and tells you what equipment you'll need. The mirror displays the instructor with your own reflection, which at first is kind of weird to be honest, but it does this to make sure your form is correct. You can follow your favorite instructor and share your workouts with your friends. You can see who else is in your class, and if you're doing a live workout, you can even get a shout out from the instructor. The mirror offers real-time data too, a countdown clock, heart rate data, and calories burned. And the best part, after the workouts, the mirror can take a selfie for you to show off those gains on the gram. Doing push-ups and crunches can be kind of boring. Thankfully, video games can spice up your workout with a dose of gamification. The Nintendo Switch game ARMS is a fun way to work up a sweat. To play, you simply separate your Joy-Con controllers and physically swing them. Matches play out like a cross between boxing and dodgeball, with players using special punch abilities and evasive moves in order to avoid getting hit. Playing ARMS doesn't offer as much data when it comes to calories burnt like some other games do, but it will let you punch out that cabin fever. You can float like a butterfly, sting like a bee from the comfort of your own home with the Tangram Smart Rope. It takes the old, boring jump rope and pumps it full of new, awesome tech. It's embedded with LEDs that display your fitness data in front of you while you're working out. Yeah, that's right, while you're jumping, the rope shows you everything right in front of your face. It connects to a smart gym mobile app where it tells you calories burned, time elapsed, how much of your goal you've completed, and shares your progress with friends. And my favorite feature of the smart rope, it keeps track of your jumps for you. No more counting. If you live in a small space, you don't want a bunch of weights all over the floor. The Jack's Jocks Kettlebell Connect will reduce that clutter. Why have 6 weights lying around when you could just have 1? It changes weights in increments of 6 pounds from 12 pounds all the way up to 42 pounds. And the weight changes in just 3 seconds. The Kettlebell Connect uses gyroscopes, accelerometers, and motion tracking to provide fitness data, and it also pairs up with a smartphone. It'll provide workout routines, track your reps, sets, weights, and rest time. It will also send you kind of shameful reminders to work out if your weight starts to collect some dust. Let's say you already pay a lot for an expensive gym membership and don't want to drop even more money during this social isolation period. Here are a couple free apps that can help you work up a sweat from home. You can download ClassPass Live. It brings a variety of workouts straight to your living room. You can do yoga, cardio, and strength conditioning. When you open up the app, click on Explore Digital Workouts. From there, you can scroll through a bunch of previously recorded classes. Then, just grab a yoga mat, whatever weights are needed, and follow along on your phone or smart TV. Then there's the Nike Training app. It has many free features as well as premium ones for purchase. However, to help people stay fit during this quarantine, Nike is offering their premium features for free until further notice. There's over 200 workouts available, and you can pick them by muscle group and workout duration, anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour-long workout. Just make sure you have a quality internet connection when you hook it up to your smart TV so your workout doesn't buffer. If you're a little technologically challenged and these options intimidate you, that's okay. Go ahead and just follow your local gym on Facebook or Instagram. Tons of them are going live with home workouts or offering up routines for you to do from your living room. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that thanks to all of the fantastic home workout devices on the market these days, you have no excuse to just sit on a couch and slowly transform into a squishy blob of apathy and self-loathing. You can and should be thinking of this as an opportunity to focus on fitness and get cut during quarantine. Until next time, I'm Riley Wynn with Digital Trends, and thanks for watching.
Hello, this is Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, share the show. We keep you up to date on everything that is going on in the world of technology, and that includes what's happening with automotive. And that's why joining us right now, we have our own Ronan Glahn to talk about this. There's a lot that's happening in so many different aspects of technology, but when it comes to the automotive world, Ronan, what is going on? What are the trends that we should be aware of?
Hi. What's interesting right now is that gas prices are so low that electric cars might take longer to become mainstream. 2019 was kind of a banner year for the EV. You had the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Tesla Cybertruck, which split the public's opinion. General Motors was working on bringing back the Hummer nameplate, and the EV take rate was actually increasing. In 2019, there were more electric cars sold than cars with a manual transmission, but it was still a small sliver of the new car market. We're talking about 1.6% of new cars sold last year. And then 2020 happened. Oil prices crashed. I think gas is at about 181 in the country right now. So some people in the market for an EV have less of an incentive to buy one right now.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, with the low gas prices. I mean, you would expect that maybe they'll go back up at some point. And the trend so far, though, has been all of these manufacturers moving towards making at least one premier electric vehicle. And you see all of them doing this, following suit. So when it comes to that, as far as the production of these, is that going to have an effect on what the manufacturers are doing?
No, and the manufacturers usually plan cars about 3 or 5 years ahead. So it's not going to have a major impact on what's coming, but it's more what's going to be sold in 2020. You've got kind of two. I spoke with Audi about this, and Audi sells the e-tron, which we've talked about on the show before. And Audi is not really worried because the people who buy an EV for $80,000 or $100,000, like a Porsche Taycan or even a Tesla S, they would buy an EV even if gas was free, because most of them are doing it for personal reasons. They want to fight climate change. They want to reduce air pollution. What's more of a worry is the people buying electric cars to save money. And there are still some customers who want to save on gas. There was a AAA study in 2019 that found 56% of EV buyers cited long-term cost concerns as a reason to go electric. And it's these people who are in the market for kind of a cheaper EV, like the Nissan Leaf, the Tesla Model 3, and a lot of the cars coming our way in 2020, 2021, who are going to maybe think twice about going electric because gas is so cheap right now.
So it definitely could have an effect, I suppose, going long term too with that. So I think that's an interesting move there, because obviously we're not commuting, so we'll see how that's going to change, coming up. I'd be curious to see how that's affecting the automotive market as a whole. But going forward from there, I know we've got some other articles that are coming out too at digitaltrends.com for people to take a look at. And part of that has to do with the idea that since we're not driving, what do we do with our cars now, since they're just sitting there, and what can go wrong with them? And I know you've got some tips and tricks for us to kind of follow along with this.
Yeah, I put this story together because I saw, since the lockdown started, I've seen so many stories about what not to do and what to do if you're not driving your car. And the thing is, this is temporary. We're not, I've been locked down since March 17th. I imagine some people in the US have this similar time frame, but we're not parking our cars for years or months at a time. And a lot of the advice you see online, frankly, is a bit misguided. So we put together this guide on digital trends for what to do and what not to do. And the most important thing is, if you're not driving at all, try to start your car maybe once every 2 weeks in your driveway, not in your garage, please. But start it, get it up to operating temperature. And if you can, drive it. Even for essential supplies, drive to the store, drive to get takeout if you can. So that's kind of the main takeaway. You also want to keep an eye on your battery, especially if your car is older model, or if your battery is older. Just double check that it's not being drained if your car is sitting. And you can do that with a multimeter. It's very simple. If it is being drained, you need to invest in a trickle charger. And one of the myths that I wanted to bust is a lot of people say you should buy fuel stabilizer. That's something that, I do that if I park my car for the winter. I have an old classic car that I'll park for the winter, and I'll put fuel stabilizer in the tank so it doesn't go bad. But if you're not going to drive for 2 or 3 weeks, you don't need to buy fuel stabilizer. Another interesting point is if you've got an electric car and it's not being driven, you don't want to let it sit in your garage without charging it because you could risk bricking it. So I always charge it maybe to 70%, between 50 and 70% is a good ballpark. So don't fast charge it, just put it maybe on a slower charger, and always keep your battery in that range to make sure that when the lockdowns are lifted, you can actually drive as you did before.
That is a very good tip. I imagine there's a lot of people that didn't know that, that the 50 to 70% that's important to do. Looking at this too, and I'm glad that you put together this kind of these tips and tricks, because I think a lot of people are just trying to determine how to handle this. None of us really planned for this. Anything else that you would suggest that people do when it comes down to handling your vehicle during this time frame?
It also depends on what you drive and whether or not you can drive it. But also, if you're going to park your car, if you're not going to drive at all for maybe a month, don't use your handbrake. I mean, if your car is an automatic, put it in park. If it's a stick shift, put it in first gear or reverse. And you do want to keep an eye on your tires because tires do lose pressure over time. So don't overfill them. That's useless. But do check the pressure every now and then. Make sure that it's within spec. Don't forget about the spare tire. But again, that's if you're not going to drive at all for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. If you drive even once a week, you'll be fine. Especially if your car is a newer model. I mean, if you've got a 2019 or a 2020 car that doesn't start after a month, you have a problem. And it's not related to the lockdown. There's something wrong with it. So, I mean, the bottom line is that you shouldn't take drastic measures. Don't worry. Don't build an airtight bunker for your Isuzu Trooper or something. It's going to be fine. That's the main takeaway.
So don't panic. It's essentially what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got that guide that's going to be coming out at digitaltrends.com, and that's coming out this week for people to take a look at and kind of follow along with. And it's important to think about these things, stuff that a lot of us never thought we'd have to have a concern with. But now, that's where we're at. So definitely take care of your vehicle. Don't panic is what it sounds like. And electric vehicles, we'll have to see how they play out here over the rest of the year and what people are buying. But definitely interesting and always good to be up to date on what's happening with everything in association with what we're going through. And Ronan, I want to say thank you very much for keeping us up to date. I appreciate it. By the way, your coronavirus mustache is looking fantastic. I just want to let you know that. So you've nailed that. And we'll catch up to date here soon. And of course, everybody take a look at what Ronan's writing at digitaltrends.com. Thanks a lot, Ronan.
Thank you.
All right, that is Ronan Glahn there, our automotive editor for digitaltrends.com. You can take a look at everything that's going on in the world of automotive technology, including some pretty exciting things that are going on. We've got some great articles there at the website. All right, so here's what's happening next. We're going to take a break because coming up here on Digital Trends Live is going to be Tommy Chong. Yes, Tommy Chong is joining us next right here, and you're watching live. So he's going to be on here to talk about his new app that is coming out, the Cheech and Chong Bud Farm. It's a new mobile game that you can play. We're all looking for new games to play. This one sounds great. So he's going to be on to talk about that, talk about life in quarantine. And if you have questions, drop them into the live chat or whatever platform you're on. Maybe we can get those into the show. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Back here in a minute with Tommy Chong right here on Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and again, thank you everybody for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. We broadcast live here every single weekday, and we get to talk to some pretty amazing people, and that is what we're going to be doing right now. Coming out today is the launch of Cheech and Chong Bud Farm, the new mobile game that you can play. And to talk about it, we have none other than the legend himself, Tommy Chong, joining us. Tommy, thank you so much for being here. To start off, I want to talk all about the game, but first off, I have to ask you the same thing we ask everybody. How are you holding up during quarantine?
It's been rough. You know, I've been quarantined with my gorgeous wife, who cooks for me every night, and she's at my beck and call. You know, she's like my slave. So it's been rough, but I've been managing. I'm hanging in there.
You're somehow getting through. I want to ask you, like, for all of us, you know, since we're all at home, we're trying to figure out different ways to connect with people and use different, online meeting apps. Are there any of those that you've been using to stay in touch with your family and friends?
Oh, every chance I get. You know, I'm a grandpa now, so I'm not. Everybody does things for me. You know, I just sit in the corner and smile, and then they do everything for me. They say, "Hey, look, Grandpa, you're on TV. Wave to everybody," and I do that. You know.
Well, talking about, I've got some other questions for you too, just about that. But I guess one other thing I wanted to ask is, since you are in quarantine, one thing that we're all trying to find is different ways to entertain ourselves. Is there any television show or movie that you've been binge watching or watching to keep yourself entertained?
CNN and MSNBC. I'm I'm one of those Trump trolls, you know. I'm always trolling Trump, and then we've been watching Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't watch it, but you know, I had got no choice. I'm locked down, so I have to. And what else watching? Old sports reruns. I watch golf a lot. Oh, tango, Argentine tango. That's what I've been working on since I've been locked down. I've been learning how to dance tango. So I'm in good shape.
That's incredible. There needs to be a live stream of that.
Yeah. Well, when I get better, you know, right now it's pretty pathetic, you know. Even though I've been trying to dance tango for 20 years, I'm not that great yet. But I'm working on it.
What got you into I'm just curious, what got you into dancing originally?
My wife, my gorgeous wife, she used to disappear, you know, years ago. She'd go, "Oh, I'm going dancing. Do you want to come?" And I go, "Nah." And then she learned how to dance salsa. And so then I went, her and her teacher had a show one time. So I went and I saw the show, and I realized that I better learn how to dance this if I want to keep being married to this lady. So she got me into it. And then I ended up, then she was going to go on Dancing with the Stars, and instead of her, they picked me. And so next thing I know, I'm on Dancing with the Stars. So it's the greatest. I'll tell you, it's old man sex. That's what it really is. You know, when you get old, you can't function properly, but you can dance, and that's when you get to hug a beautiful lady, and that's what I like doing that.
Tommy Chong's dancing. All right, let's talk about today. And you've got a new mobile game that is coming out, Cheech and Chong Bud Farm. Tell us about this game. How did you decide, or how were you approached to create this game?
We were approached by the makers, you know, the the makers of Bud Farms, and they're from Vancouver. They're geniuses, of course. You know, all the computer geeks. You know, they're very brainy and genius. And we had never really thought about. It was a perfect way for Cheech and I to get together. You know, because now we can still be our young selves again. And it's just a fun game, man. I've been trying to learn it. I've been doing pretty good, you know. And then we got a lot of, like, Stadenko. I'm looking at Abe Stadenko there, and it's a great game, man. I'm learning it. You know, I'm not really good at it yet, but you know, I'm getting there. But it's a perfect thing to do when you're under lockdown like we are.
Right? Yeah, some way to pass the time with that. And that's
Oh,
great. And the
perfect.
game sounds amazing on top of it. Now, you mentioned that you're getting good at it. Are there any other mobile games that you play or that you have played?
Well, I played Pong years ago. That was my favorite one. No, no. Listen. You know the game I play? Trying to turn the trying to turn this computer on and trying to find my email. That's the game. That's the computer game that I'm really good at because I keep losing stuff and then just when I get good at something, my son he bought me another phone and now I have to get used to it. And the phones now are so simple. You don't have to do anything. You just swipe up. And of course, I always forget that. But no, bud farms are going to be my. It's going to be my chore to do. Because I'm getting up there, and it's tough to learn new things. Like I said, I've been trying to learn tango for over 20 years now, and I'm slowly getting there. But this is perfect for people of all ages. But my grandson, he'll be the expert at it. But me, like I say, trying to find my computer. That's another game that I play.
Well, it's funny thinking about the span of your career in entertainment too, and where we're at now. You've got a mobile game coming out, Cheech and Chong Bud Farm out today. But when you think about that, going back to where you mentioned Pong, is there any tech that you have now that you wish you had at the start of either your entertainment career or back in the '70s?
No, not really. No, what happens is that when you get like the cell phone, for instance, I go back to the not having a phone. Period. I go back to where the phone was at the corner store, and it wasn't really a corner. It was like the only store in the field, and they had the only phone. And so I've gone through the whole, the cars. Now I got a Tesla. I got an electric car, and the thing is, with this new technology, it's hard to remember what it was like without it. And the thing is, when you get old, you lose your memory anyway. So it's hard to be nostalgic for stuff you can't remember.
That is a fair statement. I think that we could all relate to. Well, Tommy, I want to say thank you very much for joining us too to talk about everything that you have going on and this new app. And I want to emphasize again for everybody out there, Cheech and Chong Bud Farm, out today, available for download. Everybody can go get it. And Tommy, is there anything else you want me to tell people? Where can they follow you? Are you on social media a lot? Are you posting a lot, or any place you want people to go to?
Yeah, I'm all over Instagram, and my wife Shelby Chong. I'll follow her because she's incredible, I'm all over the social media thing. And I'm on Twitter, of course. I'm really good at Twitter, by the way. I'm like Trump, I know how to do that. But let's see. No, hey, the Bud Farm, man, check it out. If you can, if it's up to you guys now, because I'm living relatively comfortable now. But if you buy Bud Farm, wow, I'll be able to donate all the profits or the proceeds to people that really need it. The homeless and the hungry and people like that, because that's really my goal now. And I'm trying to get a thing going where we give medical marijuana to people that need it. We can deliver to the people that need it. So I'm really working on that angle of making life better for people with pot.
That's fantastic. And you can follow along, like you said, Tommy Chong on Twitter, because you're, as you said, prolific on it. So we can follow along there and follow with everything that you're doing. Get Bud Farm now out. It's out today on iOS and Android, so you can pick that up. And Tommy, thank you so much for joining us here. I really, really appreciate you being a part of the show.
I'm really pleased that I'm being able to do it without things falling apart on me. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tommy. Tommy Chong right here on Digital Trends Live. Appreciate it greatly. And thank you very much for joining us here today.
Okay, man. Take care.
All right. Again, Cheech and Chong, Bud Farm. Download that. And thank you to everybody for joining us here on Digital Trends Live. We appreciate it. We're broadcasting live from my house. Yes, it's a little bit of a different setup right now, but we appreciate Tommy Chong joining us right there. Coming up next, we've got our own Drew Prindle to talk about awesome tech you can't buy yet. And yes, there are some really cool things that are out there, and some of them are a little bit weird. He's going to talk about all of that, so that's coming up next. Stick around. Back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Hey, welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Rick Nibbler again. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. We broadcast live here every weekday, bringing you all kinds of interviews. And following up from Tommy Chong, we now go to Drew Prindle. Drew Prindle joining us for another edition of Awesome Tech You Can't Buy Yet, where he keeps us up to date on what is happening in the world of crowdfunding. Drew, thanks for being here. I don't know what you want to start off with, but you tell me, which one of these products do you want to cover here first?
I mean, first things first, I just want to say that Bud Farm is sweet, dude. I downloaded it, so he wasn't lying, man. You should check this out. But anyway, awesome tech you can't buy yet. But let's start with this weird underwater scooter thing, which has, once again, an awful name. This seems to be a trend with crowdfunding, is people come up with the worst product names ever. But this thing's, what's it called? The White Shark Mix Pro. What the hell kind of name is that?
Yes.
But I mean, the tech
It
though
sounds like
is
a
pretty
terrible
cool.
DJ in like a club that's like way off the strip in Vegas. But
That's perfect. But yeah, they call it an underwater scooter, and that's pretty much what it is. It's basically these two little waterproof like turbines attached to a battery that you just press a little button and it will drag you through the water, so you don't have to be a punk with some flippers on. You can just zoom through the water with the greatest of ease.
it actually looks pretty awesome. I bet like hardcore divers are probably really annoyed with this, but it looks, for me, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure there are definitely like hipster divers that are like, oh no, man, can't replace fins. This is just these punks out here with their water scooters. But no, I would totally take this over a set of flippers any day if I was like snorkeling or something.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So White Shark Mix Pro, and it got well, it looks like it got an innovation award at CES this last year. So that's pretty cool on top of it.
Yeah, I'm actually kicking myself because they reached out and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do a demo of this?" But it was like, it was CES, so it was madness. I was like, I can't fit this into my schedule, man. So yeah, kind of
Oh damn!
kicking
All right,
myself
well,
for that.
I don't know what the social distance is for underwater sports, but maybe we can figure that out at some point. All right, well that's the White Shark Mix Pro available there, and you can take a look at that at digitaltrends.com. All right, continuing on, the next one that we have is, let's see if we can talk about the tangle-free robot mop. What is this?
Okay, so don't you sound skeptical, but like don't knock this thing. It's pretty rad. It's basically everything that you wish a Roomba was. It's like the most tricked out robotic vacuum that has come out in a long time. So it's from Hire, like the company that makes, I don't know, they make everything. They make like washing machines, dryers, TVs. They make robot vacuums now apparently as well, and this one has a number of features that Roombas don't. First and foremost, it can actively like map the environment, and it doesn't just bounce around randomly and clean all the same spots twice. Like it will plan a route through your house, and you can dictate where it does and doesn't go using an app, which is pretty neat. But kind of the standout feature of this thing is it has basically like a beard trimmer built into the brush that it sweeps everything up in. So basically it won't get hair tangled up in it as it goes around your house, and you won't have to pick hair out of the brush occasionally to keep it working, which is pretty awesome. They have a patent on that, so they're going to be the only company that has this technology. And then one more thing,
that is pretty cool.
And then in addition to that, it's not just a like robot vacuum cleaner. It has the vacuum suction like module that snaps out of the back, and you can use it like a little handheld dust buster type thing.
Nice. So it is. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife kind of thing.
Exactly. It's all of the vacuum tools that you need, just in a little robot package, and it's cheap. It's way cheaper than most of these like super high-end Roombas. You can pay like $800 for the top of the line Roomba, and it doesn't even have all these features. Whereas this one on I think it's on Indiegogo right now, it's under $500.
And we're all working from home right now, so yeah, keeping a clean place is important. So that's the Hire Tab tangle-free robot mop and vacuum. So that is, again, awesome tech you can't buy yet. Going through these. And we've got a third and final one here. And this is something about a light. What is it that I'm looking at here?
The light. Hold on. The S light.
Okay, sorry. We're just having a little bit of an internet issue for everybody who's watching live. But I think we've got Drew on here right now. So it's the Slight Safe Secure Signal Light.
Oh yeah, that's right. This thing is so you know how when like you get like pull off to the side of the road because you have a car issue. Like the go-to thing is to put out little like cones, or if it's night, you put out like a road flare, kind of alert people like, "Hey, I'm here. Please don't run into me." Oh, can you guys all hear me?
Uh-oh. I think we might have. I'm not sure if we just cut out there or what's going on. We'll check. Okay, there we go.
All right, we're back in action.
Yep.
Basically, this thing is like
okay.
A digital...
So take a look here. We've got the hazard LED light. Drew, I'll let you go ahead and take it away. You go ahead and tell us about what it is that we're looking at here.
So it's basically like a digital road flare. Like those little fans that have LEDs on them and they spin and they can display like your alarm clock, like the time of day or whatever. It's basically that idea, except you stick it on your car and it can display like messages or warning signals, and it's basically way more visible and in your face than a bunch of road cones or whatever. And it's, it runs on a lithium-ion battery, and it has, a pack so it'll just be charged whenever you need it, and just basically makes you more visible and safe on the road.
That looks awesome. Actually, that looks like right now something that somebody would use at the White Shark Mix Pro concert as they're spinning it around. But still, it is that is awesome. So that is cool. So again, we're taking a look here at.
I just wish it could display like messages, like custom messages, so you could just be like "screw you," or like just get out your road rage. I think that would.
Yep, we're back when we can all enjoy road rage again. All right, there it is. So that's the S-Lite, the safe, secure signal light. Again, take a look at awesome tech you can't buy yet. And we've got our full rundown of all of that at digitaltrends.com. People can go take a look at. Always fun stuff, always interesting. It's great distraction to see what else is out there. And who knows, maybe you want to buy some of this too. So Drew, as always, thank you so much, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
All right, Drew Prindle right there for awesome tech you can't buy yet here on Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live every single weekday. And we are here at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. So hit that subscribe button, share the show. And I want to talk about tomorrow coming up. So let's take a look here. We've got a brand new segment called Who's Got Game? That segment's going to be premiering tomorrow. Really excited about that. So make sure to tune in for it. Also, we've got John Velasco with another edition of Smart Home Technology, keeping us up to date on what's going on with smart homes. So that's happening tomorrow as well. So all of that happens here every single day. And again, hit the subscribe button, share the show, let other people know about it, and join us for the conversations we get to have. We will keep you up to date throughout everything that's going on and beyond. So thanks for tuning in. And I'm Greg Nibbler. I will see you right back here tomorrow for another edition of Digital Trends Live.